कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतसे नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Will read from TLC. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This is conclusion of teaching of Sanatana Goswami. Anyone has any questions or things to share before this? We can do two things. If you have any question until now, any of the topic that you have discussed, we can take that. Second thing, if somebody can give a quick few points about what you have already read through this chapter number 16, if you remember.
17.
Oh, okay. Oh, it just started. Oh, okay. So the teachings of Rupa and Sanatana concluded. Now what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being discussed. Okay, Hare Krishna.
So in this chapter was the Sanatana Gopal took class.
Okay, okay.
So we discussed that how the Lord is coming with five forms, like form of the devotee, incarnation of the devotee, pure devotee, and
Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. All right.
that discussion is going on. That is, the purpose is to relish the mellows between them. They are coming, and then to distribute to others.
Anything else? So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation is said to be primarily for establishing the holy names of the Lord, right? Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam Sankirtan. What if I tell you, even Krishna appeared for the same purpose? Do you agree, disagree? Yes. Then you have to give evidence. कौन सा कीर्तन करा था कृष्ण ने? If you agree, then you give evidence. And if you disagree, you don't have to give evidence. Because generally we say Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he established Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam. Correct, he did that. But what if I say, not only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, every incarnation does the same thing.
Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita.
Krishna spoke, very nice. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, that is also Kirtanam. So when Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami is discussing about the 64 items of devotional service, then he talks about Kirtan, Sankirtan, that he explains. He says the Kirtan is not the chanting of the holy names. Kirtan means singing the glories of the Lord. Singing the glories of the Lord means the holy names of the Lord. Singing the glories of the Lord is reciting Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. This all is Kirtan. So in one way, every avatar Every incarnation does the same thing. In terms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the unique feature of his incarnation is he appeared as a devotee. So he not only taught, in fact, he hardly taught, he just gave Shikshashtakam. But he taught us how to live as a devotee. First thing, and second, Bhagavad Gita, probably after Krishna gave Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, he understood Kali Yuga Prani can't understand Gita also. I believe most of you would have read Bhagavad Gita. If not for Prabhupada purport, we will not make any head and tail of it. And many cannot make head and tail after reading Prabhupada purports also. After reading Bhagavad Gita, we understand Krishna's opening personality Godhead because we are in ISKCON, we have to accept that. So we move forward with that belief system. But how much do we understand? It's not like that. Philosophically, technicality is not so easy. It takes a while. Your understanding of Bhagavad Gita only can sync up with if you have read Bhagavatam. Only you can understand Bhagavad Gita from the point of view of Bhagavatam. Otherwise, you cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavatam very clearly says, Eti Chamsa Kalha Pumsa Krishna Su. So who is the Supreme Personality Godhead? Krishna. Now when you go back to Bhagavad Gita, yes, Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta Madhyaji Mam Namaskar, but many times he says Ishvara and few other things. Then question we ask, if he is Bhagwan, then how can he address somebody else? How can he say to Ishvara? So many confusion, particularly 13th chapter becomes very complicated. So like that, anyways. So Mother Kunti says, Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. What is that? Huh? Abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam sajamyam. Paritanaya sadhuna vinashaya chadushkatam. Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. I established dharma. How did Krishna establish dharma?
It is a political arrangement, the political situation he makes on settle.
Okay. So, how did Krishna establish dharma? Yes, तुम आगे आओ ना पीछे क्यों बैठे हो? Then what happened? कलयुग तो फिर भी शुरू हुआ. हाँ? Krishna started established Guru Parampara. Sakal neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. वो भी नष्ट हुआ. युधिष्ठिर का रूल भी खत्म हुआ. परीक्षित का भी रूल खत्म हुआ. भागवत तो वहीं से शुरू होती है. Sakala neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. वो भी खत्म हुआ. What dharma? Dharma is eternal. So what did he establish which is eternal? Huh? Krishna didn't establish Bhagavatam. What is dharma? Relationship of Lord and Yeah, thank you. That is your perfect answer from the book. Eternal relationship. Krishna says, I come to establish dharma. What is that dharma? Mother Kunti says, Bhavyasmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi shavanam smaranam arhani karishniti kechana. First canto 8 chapter, I believe this should be verse number 34, 35. She says, Krishna appears, Bhavyasmin klishyamananam. इस कलेश की नगरी में भगवान अवतरित होते हैं. भव्यस्मिन क्लिश्यमाना नाम अविद्या काम कर्म भी, जहाँ पे लोग अविद्या से भरे हुए हैं, उस अविद्या के कारण उनके अंदर अलग अलग प्रकार की काम वासना है और कर्म करने में लगे. काम कर्म भी, काम के कारण कर्म भी, भौतिक desires. So Krishna appears here to establish dharma. How? He establishes 3 things: Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhani. Shravanam, he creates an opportunity by performing leelas, so we can hear about his leela. And also Kirtan. What do the Brajavasis used to do? They will always sing the glories of. What was Mother Yashoda doing on the day of Diwali when the Damodar Leela happened? When Krishna got up?
Turning the button and singing the glories.
She was singing. Every gopi and gopa would always be singing. Is that Kirtan or no? Because Krishna appeared, then only Kirtan happened. Na? So Shravanam, Smaranam, When you do Kirtan, Smaranam happens, Arhani, deity worship. Arhani is not only deity worship, Arhani means Upasana. So that's Dhyana also. That happens in chanting. You're worshipping the Lord through chanting. So, in other words, Lord appears for what? Establishing Kirtan. And that is done by every incarnation. Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhani. Lord Ram, Lord Nasima. So every incarnation has same role. Externally, they may have a different purpose to fulfill, but they have same role. Why? Sakala neha mahata yoga nashta parantapaha. What is that yoga? Yoga refers to connection with the Lord. And how do you connect? The easiest way is by Kirtan. So with time, people forget. Krishna appears again. Again, do what? The Lord appears. Do Narasimha Lila, Varaha Lila, Vamana Lila. He performs the pastimes. Those pastimes are sung. We build temples. We worship the Lord. And that's how the Dharma is established. Dharma is only one thing, is to chant the glories of the Lord. That is Dharma. There is nothing else in Dharma. Everything else is a man-made. Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. So what did Lord establish? And Nave Vidhu. Nave Vidhu. What is that? Nave Vidhu Rishaya करके ना सिद्ध मुख्या असुरा मनुष्य कुटश्च विद्याधर चारणाध्या. कभी सोचा इस वर्ष में ऐसा क्या है जो भगवान ही एस्टेब्लिश कर सकते हैं? तो जब तो भगवान लीला नहीं रचेंगे तो श्रवण कहां से होगा? लीला थोड़ा भक्त करेगा जाकर, लीला थोड़ा कोई ऋषि करेगा, मुनि करेगा, देवता करेगा. करेगा तो उसकी लीला का श्रवण होगा. अगर केवल भगवदगीता बोलने वाली बात थी, वो तो कोई भी बोल सकता है. तो भगवान के भक्त भी तो बोल सकते हैं. Why dharma? This is spoken by who? Mahajana. Mahajana yena gata sapantah. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gata sapantah. This is Yudhishthira Maharaj verse from Vanaparv in Mahabharata. He says so. So, what is that one thing that only Lord can establish? Dharma. What is that one thing that dharma? What is that dharma? भगवद गीता. भाई हम भी तो भगवद गीता बोल रहे हैं, गुरु परंपरा तो चल ही रहा है, बट भगवान की लीलाएं. So there is only one thing in dharma, is to chant, remember the Lord. There is nothing else. Everything else is superfluous. So what is the foundation of ISKCON or Gaudiya Math or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement? It's Kirtan. That's it. Nothing else is needed. What is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He spoke about 8 verses. What is emphasis on 8 verses? Kirtan. Chaito Darpana Marjana. Now from this point of view, if you begin to look at it, you see it's only Kirtan, Kirtan, Kirtan and Kirtan, nothing else. So we have to wholeheartedly take shelter of Kirtan. That is Dharma. Therefore when Prabhupada said, you're taking a vow for chanting 16 hours, but minimum. Kirtanya, again it was emphasized, Kirtanya Sadhari. So I thought I'll just, because interestingly chapter open as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So मैंने कहा मैं पहले बता देता हूँ, सभी अवतार एक ही चीज को करने के लिए आते हैं. There is no question, no doubt, nothing. Krishna established the same thing, Ram established the same thing, and Mother Kunti clearly says, Shravanam, Smaranam, Arhani. 3 चीजों को स्थापित करते हैं, वही श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने करा है. उनके करने का तरीका अलग हो सकता है, और प्रिंसिपल इज सेम. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu का थोड़ा अलग इसलिए क्योंकि Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as a devotee. So he gave us a direct mantra. Chant this mantra and do nothing. Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he got nothing to do. He did not emphasize reading of scriptures and all that. He said chant Kirtanya Sadhari. That is the point. Of course, reading and hearing scriptures is needed. Yoginam api sarvesham mad gatenantara atmavan shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyukta tamo matah. श्रद्धा से भजन करो. Bhajan, again Kirtan. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, 6th chapter verse number 49. Then Arjuna asked, Lord, how do I serve you with faith? 7th chapter verse number 1, Krishna Tashunu, hear. So by hearing we develop faith in Kirtan. And what we do? Kirtan. So that's the essence, sum and substance of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Kalera Dosha Nidhe Rajan, Asti Ekamangana, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, Mukta Sangha Paramajan. This is almost at the concluding end of Srimad Bhagavatam, like that. So that's the whole subject matter. That was the prime feature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, and that is the reason. Now, when you begin to look from this perspective, you see him always chanting. He was always doing kirtan. So that's the only dharma. Not today. This has been dharma from the beginning of the time. What was Prahlad Maharaj doing? He was doing kirtan. Take an example for anyone and everyone. You know. So that's the only thing on this. Anyone has any quick points to clarify or check? I can read out a few things. So apart from this, everything else is technicality. Okay. You know, everything else now भगवान 5 फीचर में आए उनके 10 फीचर आए आप अपना इंटेलेक्ट हिलाते रहो उसमें आस्वादन लेते रहो वो सब ठीक है मेन मुद्दा क्या है हमें करना क्या है वो बोलो बस नथिंग एल्स तो उस पर कोई डाउट हो तो पूछो आई विल क्लैरिफाई दैट उसके लिए कृष्ण है उसके लिए राम है उसके चैतन्य महाप्रभु है अब चैतन्य महाप्रभु के कितने फीचर थे कितने हाथ थे पैर तो तुम्हें क्या लेना देना यार तुम्हें क्या लेना तुम्हें क्या मतलब पड़ा है उससे यू नो आई एम नॉट डिस्करेजिंग यू फ्रॉम स्टडी बट यू नो ठीक है जिसको मजा आता है इंटेलेक्ट में ये बताने के लिए भगवान कितने हाथ थे पैर थे ठीक है कर लो नो प्रॉब्लम बट दैट इज नॉट द मेन थिंग ना ओके ओके एनी क्वेश्चंस एनी कमेंट्स we'll read out the ways let me just think Bashi Chaitanya Mahaprabhu anything else comes to my mind. I mean, so this is the main thing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established and every avatar established. ठीक है, let's talk about on this line only. हाँ, मुझे कोई syllabus cover नहीं करना ना. I can go with a free flow. Okay, so when our process is chanting, our end goal is chanting, kirtan. So therefore, there are certain rules and regulations given. And I believe that should be the main subject matter for sadhakas who have been practicing, at least those who have read Bhagavad Gita or have, you know, been around for a while. Our faith in chanting should be cultivated. First thing. Second thing, with the faith in chanting, chanting the names of the Lord is a direct association of the Lord. We need to qualify ourselves so we can take association of the Lord. Yesham tuantagata papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta yajanti mam dranvata. This is 728 if I am correct. So therefore, as Krishna says, we need to live a pure life. Because we are coming in whose audience? Of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we got a direct access. The holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Srila Prabhupada said, the holy names of the Lord contains everything. All the Leelas, Guna, Roop, Nama, Leela. Everything is subset of the holy names of the Lord. Holy names of the Lord are non-different from the Lord. When you are calling the name of the Lord, according to Srila Rupa Goswami, the loshes are literally dancing on your tongue when you're chanting the names of the Lord. It's non-different. So when to come in contact with the Lordship, therefore there are certain rules. Just like when you go onto the altar, you have to have certain cleanliness standards. Not only cleanliness standards, then there has to be certain mental purity standards. Before you go into the altar, then there are some, Shuddhi mantras that you need to chant. You need to chant Gayatri. What is the idea of Gayatri? So now you can focus your mind, disconnect your mind from all the things that are going around. Focus your mind on serving the Lord. So when you enter the altar, there's a lot of preparation we need to do before we can enter the altar. Similarly, when we have to enter into this space of japa, chanting, because that's the dharma, that's the only dharma, nothing else, need to enter. They require certain precautions and care. And therefore, we have 10 offenses. And therefore, now, if you look at it, our acharyas have spoken so elaborately how to, effectively chant the holy names of the Lord. Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita for that purpose becomes a very important text to practice dharma. Why? Because the essence of NOI is text number 7. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sita Pivityapito Pataptarasanasya Narochikanu. So text number 7, whatever he has spoken in the first 6 verses is just to help you to come to the point. Chant attentively. And what happens then? Then 8 onwards, Vrajdham. You know, that's a goal which is established. When you take chanting sincerely, and okay, I don't know I hear, but you're getting the point. I'm saying. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Some voice came now. So what was I saying? NOI, NOI. So there are precautions which are given how to chant. And I was drawing as a parallel with going into the altar during deity worship. Similarly, we need to prepare our consciousness. Therefore, we have this culture of Mangalati. We do Guru Vandana. Mangalati is effectively Guru Vandana. You know, we're meditating how? We're filling our heart with gratitude. So it's just like Evam Parampara Praptam, connecting with ourselves with Guru Parampara, because realizing and remembering the grace by which we have got this blessing to chant the names of the Lord. Then we pray to Narasimhadev for protection, and then we do the mood setting with Tulsiyati. I don't know how many of you paid attention. Can you think of it, what Tulsiyati really emphasizes? Tulsiyati is a mood setting. What is a mood setting? Tulsiyati brings you to Vrindavan. You know, so with Guru Vandana, with Guru Ashtakam, I'm just simplifying as a Guru Vandana. I'm not saying Guru Puja. With Guru Ashtakam, you know, क्या कहते हैं आपका gratitude, our connection is again re-established every morning. We recollect, realign. Narasimhadev's prayer was added by Srila Prabhupada for protection, and then Tulsiyati we conclude with is a mood setting, and then further mood setting happens by Shishashtakam. The mood setting, mission setting, everything is set by Shishashtakam. And then we have 10 offenses. As a reminder, if you want to chant, if you want to practice dharma, you have to take care of such and such things. Can you imagine how much preparation we do before getting into chanting? And then if Radha Shampoo is there, then japa talk. You know, additional japa talk. If not, some devotee would read out from some japa book. And then we sit to perform dharma. And then we enjoy dharma. Our experience of dharma is high class. Isn't that a little disconnect here with what's going on with what we are doing here and what's going on? ये सारा अरेंजमेंट आपके लिए चलेगा रहेगा कि उसको आप कर सको ढंग से उसी समय में रहता है गो हरी बोल बोल्ड आउट बिना बॉल डाले so it's because why when you read Bhakti Alok, not Bhakti Alok, what is that? Hainam Chintamani by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he talks about Nam Aparadh in the initial chapter, he says that the main reason for Nam Aparadh is not understanding the glories of the Nam. Not understanding the glories of Nam, the holy name. And now if you look at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, his life was dedicated in glorifying the holy names. You know, on nocturnal kirtans we talk about, whole night of kirtans. Is there any other mantra that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ever chanted except for Hare Krishna Maha Mantra? The Lord personally appeared, which means Krishna himself appeared to teach us how sacred this mantra is. That I, as a devotee, teaching you that all of us to take shelter. And Bhagavatam is filled with so many glories of Kirtan. The first canto, first chapter, 8th or 9th verse, let's take a look at it. The 8th or 9th verse talks right in the first chapter. So I don't know, many times devotees miss this. How right in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto itself, first chapter, the glories of Kirtan has been established. Bhurani Prayana Alpha. 1 second. It should be before 9 only. 7th, 8th, Vedantis. यहाँ तो इतिहास शुरू हो गया 4th से. ठीक है. 18, 19. Just missing the first line of that. Question vayam tu कृतवान् कलकर्माणि कलिमगातमाग्नया त्वं न सदृष्टो भुवि. Shure Krishna, we have met your goodness. The is Pali has begun. Katam, great length you want to hear. ठीक है. Apanna Kritaman in own life. Rasa Swade Swade hymns. Never tire of hearing. Oh, ठीक है. मेरा मन शांति बैठेगा जब तक मिलेगा नहीं. बाद में देखता हूँ. The first chapter itself, the Kirtan has been glorified like that. So that's what the teachings and the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dedicated to. Give us faith on only one thing, that is Kirtan. And therefore I wanted to make a point in the beginning. Even Lord Shri Krishna does that. Lord Ramchandra does that. Every incarnation does establish dharma. How do they establish dharma? Shavanam, Smaranam, Arhani, Karishnati, Kechana, like that. So that's a few things. And what I was saying is just like we need to prepare for serving the deities, there's so much preparation we do before we start chanting. So one is Srila Prabhupada have created a system for the whole morning program. And second thing, our acharyas have described how we should approach the holy names of the Lord. For that, you need to carefully study Upadeshamrita, the first 6 verses, Vachavegam, so mind and sense control, Yama, Niyama, then relationship with devotees, and what to give up, what to accept, Usaha, Nishadharyat, and then how to relate with the devotee, Dadati, Pratigyanati, like that. How to relate with different Krishna, Sudhama, Upagate. No, what is that? Krishna iti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasachit pranitibhischa badam tamisham. So how to relate with different grades of devotees. And the 6th, very important, how and why not to find faults with devotees. Drashte स्वभाव जनिते वपुचस्न दोषे. तो इस प्रकार से पूरे precautions दिए गए हैं. When we are able to do yama niyama, relate and associate with devotees properly, lovingly, and give up our fault-finding habit, then we can approach the holy names of the Lord or the Lord, because Lord is not pleased when we see or when the Lord sees we're criticizing His devotees. And that is a very important aspect of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. We see that when he was traveling to South, who was that? Vasudev Leper was another, he was a great devotee, who was in Bengal, who had criticized Shivas Thakur, and he got this leprosy and all that. Gopal, right? I believe, yeah. So like that, we see that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, you cannot offend Vaishnavas, and the Lord was so. So if we are struggling with chanting, so we need to pause and think about for a second, why Lord is not reciprocating? Why Lord is not reciprocating is because somewhere something is going wrong. Am I not following regulative principles? That's a foundation. Basic. Yesham Tvantagata Papam. If I'm following regular principles also, which means I'm staying in Vaishnava association, I'm living a pure life, I'm eating only Krishna Prasadam, I don't have any bad habits now, I'm free from that, then why am I sleeping off in japa? Why my mind is so distracted? Then which means there's only one thing, Vaishnava Ninda. By our conduct, by our behavior, we are disturbing other Vaishnavas and devotees who are unhappy. And it is Paramatma to Paramatma connection. So you may say, अरे ये आपस की बात है, भगवान को क्या पता चलेगा? भगवान बैठे हैं गोलोक वृंदावन में मजे ले रहे हैं. तो भाई वही प्रभु तो परमात्मा के रूप में उपद्रष्टा हनुमंता चा भर्ता भोक्ता ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृदयेषु अजनितिष्ठति सर्वस्य चाम हृदि सन्निविष्टुम मता स्मृति ज्ञान. So many verses in Bhagavad Gita talks about it. And therefore the reaction of those aparadh manifests at the time of chanting. Because that is one time in a day that we have a direct union with the Lord. But at times we fail it. Why? Because we are committing some aparadh. Fine, these are some quick thoughts. We can read some one or two paragraphs here. कहाँ से पढ़ना है? So पढ़ो भाई, आप लोग भी पढ़ो, मैं सुनता हूँ. कुछ होगा तो मैं बोलता हूँ. ये लो, आप ही ले लो बुक ये. And read out. Mic is needed?
In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's last instructions were that everyone should give up all other engagements and render devotional service unto him. However, after Krishna's disappearance, less intelligent people misunderstood him. They became contaminated with the Mayavadi philosophy, which produced so many mental speculators that people forgot the actual position of the absolute truth and the living entity. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna himself, as Lord Chaitanya, again appeared to teach the fallen souls of this material world the way to approach Lord Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that one should give up everything and be done with this world of material attachment. A pure devotee of Lord Krishna and one who follows the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya are one and the same.
All right. So I got the verse. Please repeat after me. This first canto, first chapter, verse number 14. आपन्ना संशतिं घोराम् यन्नामा विवशो गृह्णन् ततः सद्यो विमुच्येत यद् बिभेति स्वयं भयम्. If you want to conquer bhaya, this is right in the beginning of Bhagavatam. There's only one way. Yannama vivasho granan. Chant the names of the Lord with Vishwas. Apannaha, being entangled. Samsatim ghoram. Ghoram means horror. And this horrible place called as material world. Yannama vivasho granan. But who can chant with faith. Tataha, immediately. Sadhyo. Sadhyo means at tataha, not immediately. Tata means from that. Sadhyo means immediately. Vimuchyata means vimuchan, getting freed. Yad viveti swayam bhayam. The fear personified is fearful of the Lord. Therefore, you get immediately freed from the horrors of this material life. Yan nama vivashogan 1.1.14. Okay, continue.
Chaitanya's philosophy is that one should give up everything and worship God, Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, spoke the same words, indicating himself as the Supreme Lord. However, the Mayavadi philosophers misunderstood him. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya, to clarify the situation, reiterated Lord Krishna's message. One should not declare himself to be as good as Krishna, but should worship Krishna as the Supreme Lord.
You make a great mistake if you accept Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya as your conditioner.
Little louder. थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए.
You make a great mistake if you accept Lord Chaitanya as a conditioned soul. He is to be understood as the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna himself. It is therefore said of Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna is now present in his five diverse manifestations. Unless one is situated in uncontaminated God goodness, it is very difficult to understand Lord Chaitanya as the supreme personality of Godhead himself. Thus, in order to understand Lord Chaitanya, one has to follow the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, the six Goswamis, and especially the path chalked out by Srila Jiva Goswami.
The
Anthony?
most astonishing fact is that Lord Chaitanya, although the supreme personality of God is Krishna, never displayed himself as a Krishna. In fact, whenever he was detected by intelligence, devotee as Lord Krishna and was addressed as Lord Krishna, he denied it. Indeed, he sometimes placed his hands over his ears, protesting that one should not be addressed as Supreme Lord. Indirectly, he was teaching the Mayavadi philosophers that one should not falsely pose himself as a Supreme Lord and thereby misguide people. Nor should followers be foolish enough to accept anyone and everyone as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should test by consulting scriptures and by seeing the activities of the person in the question. One should not, however, mistake Lord Chaitanya and his five diverse manifestations as ordinary human beings. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. The beauty of Lord Chaitanya is that, although he is the Supreme Lord, he came as a great devotee to teach all conditioned souls how devotional service should be rendered. Conditioned souls who are interested in the devotional service should follow in the exemplary footstep of the Lord Chaitanya in order to learn how Krishna can be achieved by the devotional
The same
service.
point what we discussed. Okay, continue.
Thus, the Supreme Lord himself teaches the conditioned soul how he should be approached in devotional service.
Any comments or anything? If any points to be clarified, go ahead further.
By analytically studying the five diverse manifestations
देखो
of the
तुम लोग क्वेश्चन
Supreme
नहीं
Lord,
पूछोगे तो मैं क्वेश्चन पूछने वाला हूँ हाँ? या तो तुम पूछो ना मैं पूछता हूँ डिसाइड कर लो किसको जवाब देना है चलो
by analytically studying the five diverse manifestations of the Supreme Lord, we can come to know that Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Absolute, and that Lord Nityanand is an immediate expansion of the Supreme Absolute Truth. We can also come to understand that Advait Prabhu is also in the category of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but is subordinate to Lord Chaitanya and Nityanand Prabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead and his immediate subordinate expansions are worshipable by the other two, namely the representation of the internal potency and the representation of the marginal potency. The representation of the internal potency, Gadadhar, represents the confidential devotee, and the representation of the marginal potency is the pure devotee. Both of these are worshippers of the other three categories, but all of them are engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So this was about Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktakam. So five features. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is, I believe, and Adi Lila, this is the 8th or the ninth chapter. If you get a chance to read that, there Prabhupada writes some very, very powerful purports. Because what had happened is, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was still accepted, but many could not accept Nityananda Prabhu. So Prabhupada writes very profound purpose. And when Prabhupada was writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is in India. He was in India, you know. So, or I would not say not necessarily he was sitting in India and writing, but now because he was traveling all over the world, and after 1970 he had started to come to India. And when he came in 1970, he laid his vision that I want to have a temple in Vrindavan. So 71 it started the process for that. So which means now Prabhupada is traveling all over, and he was also coming to India. And when you're coming to India with your Western disciples, so Prabhupada had to meet with his Gaudiya Math, other people, devotees, and who happened to criticize rather than appreciate. You know, तुमने मलीचास को ब्राह्मण बना दिया, तुमने औरतों को ऐसा कर दिया, ये कर दिया. So Prabhupada has some very profound purpose to this particular chapter, the five features of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I believe the 8th chapter. Some purpose are there, very amazing, highly emotional, rich with emotions, which clearly describes the situation that Prabhupada was facing that time. Prabhupada wanted a temple land in Vrindavan. The devotees were not supporting that. No outsider, huh? Gaudiya Math devotees are not letting Prabhupada have the land. Same in Mayapur also, Prabhupada's challenge happened like this. So I may be a little bit diverging from the topic, but just for your FI, so a little bit you can broaden your understanding. Recently, I had gone for an event on the occasion of 26th Republic Day event. I would like you to all to hear that class. मैं आपको भेजता हूँ. वो class जब available होगा ना, you guys, I just spoke for 30 minutes. There was the MP there, and there was some very famous individual from Delhi who is right-wing person. उन्होंने कुछ विश्व हिंदू या कुछ स्टार्ट करा है, has millions of followers like that. So she was there. She spoke. So आप लोग एक बार उसको 30 minutes का सुनिएगा, एक just point of view करके क्या है. I'm not gone into too much depth, but just something to connect with the audience. Anyways, the point I was trying to make here in this relationship, what we were discussing, what we were talking right before this, 26th Jan, I was making a point.
Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan.
The conflict. I want you to understand this, which I often find people sometimes misunderstand this. Hopefully, all of you mature into this. Prabhupada didn't had a problem from, of course, Prabhupada had a problem wherever he went. Preaching had always had a challenge. It's not that the people of our own community was very supportive. It's not that Gaudiya Math was very supportive. So when I went for this 26th event, this is called as Bharat Bharati event. There were more than 2,000, 3,000 people in person present. It was a magnificent program. They have created a whole pandal and everything for that. So these all people are pro-Hindu. All big business people and all Marwadis and all that. So when I had to speak, I kind of clarified. I didn't go much in details. It was a Constitution Day, so I told them what is our Constitution. So there I quoted Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagavad Pranitam. I told them, please understand. I don't know if I quoted this verse or not, but this was a principle. I told them, I said, see, what is the meaning of Constitution? Constitution means it tells you what are your rights, what you can do, what you cannot do, how to live. That is, in other words, so that you can have a free life. Constitution defines your right. And Shastra says that such a constitution can only be given by Bhagwan. And that constitution, Vedic culture is called as Dharma Shastra. And that Dharma Shastra is known as Bhagavad Gita. So our constitution is already laid, not by Ambedkar. Therefore, when constitution was made, it had photos of Ramayana, Lord Ram. It had emblem of Krishna and Arjuna. It was on that basis, the freedom for all. The way, I don't know how much you know about our constitution. Our constitution is the most refined and profound constitution where the minorities have the maximum rights all over the world. Where minority have the maximum rights. If you read it, you'll understand. In terms of that, their rights have been preserved so much. If they file a complaint against you, your majority, you'll be immediately behind the bar. If you file a complaint against minority, then whole case has to go. SC/ST Act, you understand? कोई भी उसमें पंगे में आ जाता है. Like that, minority can file a complaint against you. You can be put behind the bar, but you cannot file a case. So in terms of that much rights have been, freedom has been given. Basis is what? Ramayana, Lord Ram's affection, Praja. This is what? Bhagavad Gita. So like that, I was trying to make a point. Anyway, long story short, so the point here is, Prabhupada was not supported by his own god brothers. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are two kinds of people, Sura and Asura, not Hindus and Muslims. If our conflict was with Muslims, then Krishna would have said there are two kinds of people. One is called Hindus, one is called Muslims. Krishna did not say that because all Sanatani, all those Hindu followers saying Krishna spoke Gita for them. भाई कृष्ण ने तुम्हारे लिए गीता बोला है तो बोलता ना मैंने हिंदू के लिए बोला है और तुम्हारा दुश्मन कौन मुस्लिम हिंदू मुस्लिम तो नहीं कहा सुरा एंड असुरा and therefore Krishna in the 16th chapter talks about the qualities of saintly people and a demonic people, and the demonic people or the saintly people can belong to any class, any caste, any faith, any society, so much so even ISKCON. So we should not become blind in this understanding. Prabhupada was from, let's say Prabhupada created ISKCON. Let's say I have started Evolve Pune. मैं तो ISKCON का ही तो हूँ. Even if I started Evolve Pune, मैं हूँ किसका? ISKCON का ही ना. Now Prabhupada started ISKCON. But Prabhupada belongs to what? Gaudiya Math ना. और Gaudiya Math ने support नहीं करा. So this is base human nature. The base human nature. It's not a matter of faith. It's a base human nature that Krishna talks about in Sura and Asura. Like that. That's the way of looking at it. Therefore, we don't generalize. It's not that in all. Okay, let me ask this question. In Kauravas and Pandavas, who represent Dharma and Adharma? Are you sure? So Prabhu says Pandava sides represent dharma, which means there cannot be any adharmic person in Pandava side. हमें तो फंडामेंटल बात कर रहे हैं यार, सिंपल महाभारत की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो कौरवास अधर्मा.
No, but they have Bhishma Pitama.
So which is dharma, which is adharma? Where is dharma, where is adharma? Where is it? In Kaurva's side you have Bhishma Pitama, you have Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama, pure devotee of the Lord. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manaha, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma. Mahajan is standing. Where is adharma? Bolo. So this is one of the reasons why I kind of in the beginning said, dharma means only one thing. Those who glorify the Lord are the only follower of dharma. Everything else is adharma. Now how do you decide in Kurukshetra war? हम लोगों को बताने के लिए बोल देते हैं it was a fratricidal war, family war between Pandavas and Kauravas. Pandavas represent dharma, Kauravas represent adharma. ये क्या बोल रहे तू? Wait, भीष्म पितामह की साइड खड़े हैं. And you say Pandavas represent dharma. Do you know Ghatotkacha was by the side of Pandavas? And when Ghatotkacha was killed, Krishna was dancing. ये क्या था? Okay. मैंने कहा अच्छा बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक मिल गया, डांस करते थे मेरे ये टक टक करने से. What was it saying? Krishna was dancing. तो पांडवों ने पूछा प्रभु पार्टी बदल ली क्या? हमारा आदमी मारेगा तुम नाच रहे हो? वो नाचते तो समझ आता, तुम क्या नाच रहे हो? तो कृष्णा ने कहा दो रीजन. वन, बिकॉज आई मेड कर्णा यूज शक्ति वेपन विच ही हैड केप्ट रिजर्व फॉर अर्जुना. एग्जॉस्ट द शक्ति वेपन ऑन घटोत्कच. तो अब वो कर्णा अर्जुन को मार नहीं सकता. दूसरा, घटोत्कच यहाँ युद्ध में नहीं मरता तो मैं उसको खुद वैसे भी मारता. क्या धर्म का नाश करना है ना? तो अब बताओ किसी तरह धर्म है, किसी तरह अधर्म है. So the dharma means, so therefore, okay, let me simplify this point. What is our best association for us? Best association for us is who follows dharma. How do you know who follows dharma? One, who is absorbed in singing the glories of the Lord, period. That's it. Are you getting it? And this is the basis and parameter Uttama, Madhyama, Kanishta is described. Of course, knowledge and faith, 11th canto talks about it. Faith in what? Knowledge of what? What is the practice? Kirtan, na? So now if you only prove हमें इतना शास्त्र पता नहीं, हमें ये नहीं पता, हम कैसे समझे? हमें तो यही समझ नहीं आ रहा आपके कहने के बाद अभी धर्मा कौन था? If I have confused you with Pandavas represented dharma, Kauravas represented what? If you confuse with that only, what would you do in your day-to-day life? So what is the best association? The right association for sadhaka? So let me give you background of what I was trying to make a point here. Srila Prabhupada didn't got support from his God brothers. They did not allow him, let him easily get a land. If you know the struggle of Vrindavan, and despite Vrindavan temple getting constructed, struggle that continued until 90s. Gundagardi rahi hai wahan par. So now you can imagine. So point I was making is, so then I said, I went for this, I didn't finish the 26 wala. I went to 26, okay. So I spoke one perspective. I would let you hear it. आप सुनो, आपको मजा आएगा उसको सुनकर. You will get few insights into it. And then that lady came, despite me making a point how you should have a vision, which people really appreciated. This lady came and she said, Muslims aise hain, Muslims aise hain. हमें उठना पड़ेगा, हमें ये करना पड़ेगा. वो चीखती रही. फिर मुझसे आके पूछती है, स्वामी जी मेरा लेक्चर कैसा लगा? मैं कहा रेवोल्यूशनरी. मैं क्या बोलूं? तो रेवोल्यूशन पैदा करने आई थी यहाँ पर. मुझे तो लग रहा था मैं 1947 से पहले कुछ देश हित में रैली अटेंड कर रहा हूँ. वहाँ पे हमें ब्रिटिश से बचना है, आजादी का लेक्चर देके चली गई तू यहाँ पे. पागल है क्या? ये करके. Anyways. And then I said, see, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, no Hindu Muslim says Sura and Asura. Sura means who follows dharma. Asura means who does not follow. And then there are characteristics of it. And I said this exists everywhere. This exists within our society also. Because ultimately it's a human nature. And then I came to a point, how do you understand what is the best association for you? Who follows dharma? And I've already simplified what dharma is. Who follows, who chanting. Chanting means don't say, अभी कीर्तन वो होने वाला क्या है? कीर्तन संध्या or something. ओ जी, ये है अच्छे सब कुछ, बड़े बड़े बाल हैं, अलग अलग प्रकार के कट स्लीव पहन के कीर्तन कर रहे हैं, जिनका संग लेना है. कीर्तन मतलब not only chanting, one who glorifies the Lord. Please understand definition of kirtan. One who glorifies the Lord, by his actions, by his speech, either through chanting, either by discourses. This is called as a follower of dharma. So that's the right association. Fine. I'm sorry, I'm just sharing some random things. Whatever, I'm just getting inspired to. Because I, except for him and maybe him, I don't know anyone of you. I don't really have an idea what's your background, what not. So therefore I asked him, what are you studying? He said, TLC. And TLC में निकली हुई श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु, तो मैंने कुछ बोल दिया चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में. ओके, तुम लोग क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते तो मैं तुमसे क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ, दूसरा क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ, ठीक है? देख लो, तुम्हें पूछना तो पूछो, वरना मैं पूछ लेता हूँ. पूछने के बाद जवाब भी मैं ही दे रहा हूँ ऐसे. तो हूँ कर रहे हो बैठे बैठे, तो मजे ले रहे हो. All right. Recently I got really irritated, and then people started calling me, all kind of nuisance goes on social media these days. So all of you are aware about LFI?
Yes, Los Angeles.
And then anyone of you got a video of devotees giving their perspective?
Yes.
What video got? What was the video saying?
Mataji was saying that the godless people are getting punishment and
No, there was an award ceremony, so they said
Yeah.
so that.
I also heard another Prabhu's video that he was is saying that God is not that it for that.
And that those 2-3 videos went viral. And devotees were having all, somehow we have inherent revenge mentality, and so many people bought that idea. Anyone has YouTube here? क्या हुआ?
Yes.
है, go to my channel, just play that one video. I want you to hear that, Madan Sundar Das. And then we can discuss, does it make sense or not?
I saw one video, Prabhuji, that the person was telling it was put by one company. They wanted to capture the whole property.
It's Madan Sundar Das or Madan Sundar Das official, whatever, on YouTube or Instagram, anywhere. Or type Madan Sundar Das LFIR on search. मिला? तो आप ग्रुप में शेयर कर दो, बाकी को मिल जाएगा फिर. So how do we watch? Can you just, in your group, can you just watch it? It's just 1 minute. Up, watch it and then give me what is your perspective. Does it make sense? जिन्होंने देखा है कि भगवान को गुस्सा आ गया तो आग लगा दी. And now, so let me give you an exercise. Before you hear this, and some of you have heard the previous version, you have to now give me a philosophical difference in both. अभी भी नहीं मिला?
Prabhuji, we have opened the channel.
तो शॉर्ट्स में जाना था ना?
शॉर्ट्स में
हाँ, शॉर्ट्स में, हाँ. आप शॉर्ट्स में जाएंगे, जहाँ आग जलती हुई वीडियो में देखिए, वो है ना, ब्लेमिंग गॉड, पीछे आग लगी हुई है ना. उसका ये अपने ग्रुप में मिला?
Coincidence? Some folks are saying no. That's divine revenge. Hold on.
Yeah, that is good enough. उसका वॉल्यूम बढ़ा दीजिए, सब सुन लेंगे एक ही जगह से. Play it from the beginning. यहीं पे सब सुन लेंगे. Yeah.
Someone mocked God at an award show, and 2 days later, a massive fire broke out. Coincidence? Some
You can
folks are
watch it
saying
mute
no.
करके.
That's divine revenge. But hold on. Does God really work like that? Let's clear this up. God isn't petty. He's not up there thinking, oh, you made fun of me? Here's a fable for you. The Bhagavad Gita Krishna says in 9th chapter 29th verse, I envy no one and I'm equal to all. So yes, God doesn't do revenge. He's not fighting FIRs for hurt sentiments. Remember Krishna and Arjuna? When Arjuna was freaking out about fighting his family, did Krishna say, go get your revenge? No. He said, do your duty with wisdom and responsibility. That's dharma, not some Bollywood revenge plot. So what caused the fire? Was the god throwing a tantrum? No. It was human actions, poor planning, environmental neglect, and maybe too much distraction when we should have been fixing things. It's simple. You reap what you sow. This is where karma comes in. So instead of blaming God for disasters, let's take responsibility for our actions. Because trust me, God has better things to do than watch our shows.
हाँ ठीक है तो आपने एक देखा है so what is how do you understand this and what do you understand what's the difference huh
It is actually what the earlier videos of the devotees. They are
well
like,
I'm having more philosophical discussion here to understand the difference in philosophy what philosophy is ours so what was a message given from that what philosophy comes out
The revenge point of view. It was coming like Lord is partial to like
okay partial
just
or
When something goes wrong, Lord is responsible.
we can say that उसमें fear mongering था it was not more they were saying but there was more fear mongering surrender or punish so मुझे problem क्या बनी उससे this is Christian theology this is not our philosophy this is radicalization how is radicalization function convert करो वरना मरो एंड अपने भक्त उसको फैला रहे हैं तुम उसकी वीडियो फॉरवर्ड करते हो क्रिश्चियन सबसे पहले जो वीडियो आई थी आई लुक्ड इनटू इट व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग मैसेजेस आई लुक्ड इनटू इट आवर डिवोटीज मेड वीडियो वे लेटर दिस फर्स्ट वीडियो ऑन दिस होल ग्रैमी अवार्ड एंड ब्ला 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 वाज मेड बाय अ चर्च तो सबसे पहले वीडियो उन्होंने वो करीबन 10 मिनट की वीडियो थी उसमें उन्होंने बताया और वहां से क्यों लेकर फिर हमारे ये कुछ भक्त जो हैं नौसिख हैं उन लोगों ने वीडियो बना के डालनी शुरू करी और इनकी वीडियो हर जगह फैला दी लोगों ने लीडरशिप ग्रुप में भी लोग बोलना देखो वो ऐसा करोगे तो भगवान ऐसा करेगा पागल हो गए तुम लोग यार मतलब कर्म का नाउ फॉर एग्जांपल बिफोर आई स्पोक दिस आई केयरफुली थॉट अबाउट इट व्हाट एम आई कम्युनिकेटिंग नाउ व्हाट डिड आई कम्युनिकेट हियर और व्हाट आर वी कम्युनिकेटिंग व्हाट इज द वैदिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग
the deposition is also a chance for us to take shelter of the Lord, rather than blaming the Lord that because we are not following His laws, that He is punishing us because of our actions.
वो ठीक हो गया what was the aspect which was conveyed through this message
God is
That we should have responsibility.
take care done God is not that is Bhagavad Gita I quoted the verse
We should have responsibility.
yeah this is our philosophy we need to take responsibility we cannot shun our responsibility हम कुछ भी करेंगे अच्छा हुआ तो हमारा बुरा हुआ तुमने कुछ नहीं करा तो भगवान ने तुम्हें दंड दिया there's not so I said in the beginning I said Lord does not envy first thing I established and second thing then I established was what about human responsibility I didn't spoke about karma because I've spoken about karma in another video before because there were some doubts about it I told them as you sow so shall you reap there so here I just said hey, this incident shows that we did not organize ourselves properly when we should have been serving we were too distracted watching videos the the administration had to take care and I looked into it what was the reasons for it the reason for it in the last 1.5 year 2 years there had been no rain and that region is arid dry region because of which it became completely dry and because there are certain winds which flows which is arid dry and वहाँ पे मैं अमेरिका में रहा हूँ वहाँ वातावरण बहुत ही खतरनाक है उस वातावरण में आप हल्की सी चिंगारी लगा देते हो वो फैलेगी एंड यू हैव अ विंड गोइंग एट 80 माइल्स पर आवर अगर इस तेज से हवा बह रही है और पेड़ ही पेड़ है तो चिंगारी तो आग में बदल के फैलेगी ना यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग On top of it, they did not have even enough water supply to extinguish the fire, because वो पानी का उन्होंने कहीं और उसको reroute कर दिया था, और ये सारा organizational mistake थी. On top of it, there were people setting a fire. अब तो ये बोलो कि जैसे भगवान ने जीसस को प्रेरणा दी, बाइबल प्रकट करी, मोसेस को टोरा का ज्ञान दिया, और फलाने ठिकाने को हमारे वो खेत में पैदा हुए, खेत नहीं, डेजर्ट में पैदा हुए मुल्ले को, है ना, ला ने कुछ दे दिया. तो इसका मतलब लोग बोलेंगे मैंने कुछ नहीं करा, शाम को भगवान मेरे को आके बोले थे जाओ आग लगाओ, इन पापी को दंड दो. How we misuse, so now we cannot punish him. Why? Because he's a God believer. And मुझे भगवान प्रकट हुए. भाई जब मोसेस को प्रकट हो सकते हैं, जीसस को प्रकट हो सकते हैं, अपने मोहम्मद को प्रकट हो सकते हैं, इसको क्यों नहीं प्रकट हो सकते यार? वो कौन से दूध में धुल के नहा धोकर आए थे? So therefore I just kind of so anyways I just want to clarify that. Now, don't become radicalized or radical. Be careful of this kind of messages people give around. People are calling Kumbh Mela a blind tradition. I'm getting messages. I just today only I sent a video. And there is nothing blind in Kumbh Mela. There is only perfectly aligned faith. So anyways, so philosophically, so a little bit of philosophy definitely is needed, proper understanding of it. And be careful of the Sura versus Asura.
This is about Mahakumbh from Chaos to Kam. This video is about that.
That's all shorts, Prabhu.
Shorts.
These are long videos. Those are my sessions. These are, now I thought I will not answer because I get too many messages. I thought I'll just make a video, let people watch it. So all these things are in the video. I started this for my leadership program. And then from there, students started asking this kind of, because when you interact, people will ask these questions. So I recently started this queries which people had in the form of this. Okay, anyways, all right, we have got over our time. Anything else? तो लोगों ने कंफ्यूज तो नहीं करना ना यार. तो बहुत सारी चीजें बता गया. सही धर्म क्या है, सुर असुर कौन है. शायद कुछ चीजें आप लोगों ने पहले उस दृष्टिकोण से नहीं देखी होंगी. ओके, नो क्वेश्चन ओनली. हाँ, तो हमारी पूर्ण शरणागति है. हम फुली सरेंडर है टू द प्रोसेस. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So what happens now? All of you leave for office or what?
Yes.
I like that, all office. Let me just quickly interact with you. What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Prathamesh.
Prathamesh. What do you do?